Weddings are a time of celebration and union between two families. This important event is marked by many rituals and cultural customs. The variation of religious beliefs, culture, and history has generated very different traditions around the rite of marriage. As for the wedding night and the consummation of the marriage specifically, the practices of many African nations and tribes would be considered truly strange in the West. But if there is one thing universal, it's the first night as husband and wife, and that is known for one thing: the consummation of the marriage. In this video, we are going to see 14 unbelievable marriage traditions found only in Africa. And if you stick with me till the end, all the rituals will send shockwaves down your spines. Let's go. 1. The bride's aunt tests the groom-to-be. The Banyankole of Uganda in East Africa has one of the strangest marriage rituals. First, the marriage must be consummated in the groom's home. But before this can happen, the bride's aunt must carry out an activity test. That is, going to bed with her niece's husband-to-be to make sure he is doing it right and that he is a virgin. 2. Emergency situation. In Shona culture, the wedding night tradition begins before the wedding. The bride decides when it is time for the ceremony, and on the night she does so, she and her female relatives take a walk through the village after it is dark. She is completely dressed in white, and when they approach the groom's house, they do a celebration dance. The groom, completely unprepared, finds out that it is time. That is the way to know how the family reacts to emergency situation. The bride enters the house and removes her veil. It is the first time her in-laws would have to see her. 3. Smeared with butter fat. In Namibia, the wedding ceremony is followed by a visit to the home of the bride's father. There, he tells her what her responsibilities as a wife will be, and after that, she is smeared with cow butter fat, thus symbolizing that she is already part of the family and has been accepted.
So basically, every totem has its way of passing down blessings for the next chapter of your life. Marriage is a very big part. It's the beginning of the rest of her life, basically. So where they smear that traditional serum, the red one, it is basically to armor our bride with protection in her new marriage.
4. A leg up to prove virginity. In a Zulu wedding, the highlight of the ceremony is a dance that takes place between the family of the bride and groom. It is a ceremonial dance that signifies the bride's transition from her own family to that of her new husband. During the dance, the bride does a small part on her own, beginning with one leg raised for the purpose of showing her mother that she is still a virgin. 5. A hidden helper under the bed. In Swahili culture, arranged marriages are the norm, and usually the bride and groom have not seen each other before they are married. A woman, usually an older relative who has participated in the bride's training in how to be a good wife and who is called a marriage teacher or mentor, sleeps under the bed while the newlyweds consummate the marriage. This is done to ensure that the bride does not resist the consummation. In this way, there is a witness to the consummation, and he shows a piece of the bedclothes to show the rest of the women the blood of the virgin. Finally, the newlyweds remain isolated and alone for 7 days. 6. Communal Consummation. The Berbers of North Africa consummate the marriage sometimes alone, but commonly with other newlywed couples in a shared wedding room. They use the experience for the community to learn the art of making love and thus become accustomed to each other. The new couple stay together with the other couples for 5 days. The sheets from the first night as a married couple are shown to the people, as is a face of the bride whose veil is removed, to show them that the bride was a virgin before the wedding. 7. A procession to the groom's house. In the Muslim nation of Libya, weddings can last up to 5 days. On the 4th day, the bride has a party at her house before her new husband arrives to get her out of the house for the first time. It is their first night as husband and wife, and on the way, their friends and family follow them in their cars, honking and yelling in celebration as the bride enters the groom's house. Once inside the groom's house, the newlyweds are greeted by members of the family who will pray the Quran together. 8. Marriage without consent. In Tanzania, a bride's most valuable asset is her virginity, which becomes paramount on her wedding night. However, losing your virginity here can be really scary. She cannot even meet her boyfriend and will be dressed, made up, and combed as if she were a doll. She must wait at home with a wedding attendant. The groom arrives, pays a fee for his bride, and they are left alone to consummate the marriage, whether he consents to it or not. 9. There must be blood. In Ethiopia, the level at which they take a woman's virginity is totally new. Arranged marriages are common, and women are paid. On the wedding night, a scarf in the bedroom will collect the blood, while her mother and best man wait outside. If they don't bleed, they are delivered back, and the groom has to get a refund. 10. Bridesmaids virginity check. In Morocco, bridesmaids can only be present at post-wedding parties. After ceremony, the bride is taken to the bridal chamber to prepare for the wedding night. Her bridesmaids must verify that she is a virgin and then left to witness her lose it to her new husband. 11. An audience awaits. In Tunisia, in addition to checking the virginity of the bride after the ceremony, the groom lights a candle after consummating the marriage. So, from the outside, everyone can see that she bled and that she therefore is a virgin. 12. Practice makes perfect. In Zambia, the night before the wedding ceremony, the bride shows up at the house of her future husband once it gets dark. The bride is then given a tutorial on everything she needs to know and what to do with the husband in bed, including how to please her man and even how to shave or bathe. The couple is then encouraged to practice as much as possible before the wedding day. 13. Head shaving. In Sudan, weddings have 3 parts. First is a commitment, which is sealed when the groom's family pays the bride's family with cattle, then the union, and finally the consummation. After the ceremony, the bride is taken to the groom's village, where they all shave their heads. After this, they can consummate the marriage. 14. The role of the midwife. In traditional Egyptian weddings, after the festivities, the bride and groom must consummate the marriage. In its most traditional version, a midwife is in charge of monitoring the couple in their room and deflowering the bride herself. What are some marriage traditions in your country?